Hello guys, welcome to our channel TechArena Learning Hub. Okay, so today we are going to discuss on the very important topic. So what is Python and what are the various applications of Python and what make Python such a popular programming language? What are the advantages and what are the features which makes the Python unique programming language as compared to others? So let's go and start. So this is our website TechArena Learning Hub. Okay. So welcome to our Python arena. So guys, what is Python? So Python is an interpreted, object-oriented, simple and easy to learn programming language. So Python is a very popular language, okay, and it is very easy as compared to various other programming language out there in the market. So let's start with the history of Python, who created and how the name Python comes. Let's discuss first all these things. So when we talk about who created Python, so Python was created by Guido van Rossum. He was a Dutch programmer and he created Python. So he started his work in the early 1980s and the first version of Python was released in 1991. Okay. So various interview questions can come up like this. What is Python? Who created? When was created? And what are the features and applications of Python? So the Python was created by Guido van Rossum and it was created started working in 1980 and it was created in 1991. Okay. The latest version which we use right now is Python 0.0 and which was released in December 3rd, 2008. After that, various upgrades comes in this version, but yeah, the Python 3.0 is the version which we are using right now. So how the Python came, the name Python, why Guido van Rossum decided to give the name Python. So while he was working on this programming language, he was also watching one BBC comedy series. Okay. The name of the BBC comedy series was Monty's Python's Flying Circus. So from there, he took that name Python because he wanted his name, the name of the programming language, to be short and unique. At the same time, it should be mysterious. So he decided to give this language a Python language, and the rest is history. Because in today's time, when we talk about data science, machine learning, data analyst, artificial intelligence, nothing could have been possible without this programming language. This makes Python very popular when it comes to its applications and all the possible outcomes which we can get from Python. Okay. Its popular libraries and models make Python very popular in the field of data science, data analyst, and all these things. When we talk about the applications of Python, Python has a very large application. It's not specific to a certain domain or field. You can have its usage in all the available fields like a data science, data visualization, machine learning, web development, API creation, data analysis, Django development, any more, and many more applications you can have with Python. Okay. So why this is possible? Because of the advantage and features Python provides us. Okay. The first feature of a Python, before going to the features, let's talk about the advantages of Python. So what are the various advantages of Python Python is easy to code programming language. Okay. So when I say easy to code programming language, I mean, you can easily write the codes and understood the codes as compared to various programming languages out there. For example, suppose I want to print hello world in Python, we will write like print hello world and we will run the code. So the hello world is printed. Whereas when you want to do the same thing in other programming languages like Java or C++, you have to write a more lines of code as compared to Python. As you can see, let me show you. Hello world in Java. So as you can see, you have to write these 4 lines of code to just print a single hello world in Java. Whereas in Python, it is just as simple as the English language, like print and you printed the hello world. So the typing and the writing, the syntax of a Python is quite similar to English programming language. If a person has a basic understanding of English language and the basic mathematical operators, he can write his program in Python. Okay. The next advantage of Python is it is free and open source. What does free and open source means is the source code of Python is available in the market for free. You can download it, you can modify it, and you can upgrade the language, and various things are possible because it is free and open source. Okay. So when we talk about when it is easy to code, it's also easy to debug a program. When you write a code in a simpler lines, you can even debug a program with less efforts. Like suppose a equal to 5, b equal to 10, I write C equal to A plus B and print C. And since you can see the writing of the code is simple, so similarly, when you write a large number of queries and codes, so debugging will also become very simple in Python as compared to other programming languages. As we had already discussed, like its popular modules and libraries, NumPy, Pandas, Scikit-learn, Keras, TensorFlow, all this makes the Python very popular programming language. So let's talk about the few of the features of Python. Okay. So first feature of Python, it is an interpreted language. Interpreted means the code in Python runs line by line. The first A equal to 5 will run, then B equal to 10, then this, and then this. Most other programming language, what happens there is they first all the code is taken into consideration and they compile the code, then the output is executed. While in Python, the code learns line by line. So it makes the more faster programming language as compared to other programming languages out there. The next feature of Python is it is a dynamically typed programming language. What does dynamically typed programming language means? Suppose in Python, you have to write like, suppose you want to create a variable with integer value like a equal to 5. You can directly write this a equal to 5. Whereas in other programming language, you have to first declare the data type of the variable. Like in Java or C++, you have to write something like this. Int a equal to 5. Okay. But in Python, it's not required. You can directly write a equal to 5. And as Python is an interpreted programming language, so while running the code, it will automatically consider that the variable a is a int data type, variable b is a int data type, okay, or a string data type. The next feature of Python is it is a cross-platform programming language. So what does cross-platform means? Suppose you write a code in Windows and you want to run your same code in different operating system like Mac or Linux. You can do that same way by using the same code. You don't need to modify your codes. So that's another feature provided by Python. And another feature of Python is it's a object-oriented and procedure-oriented programming language. So what does object-oriented and procedure-oriented means? Object-oriented means suppose you write some functions, you create some function and you call the functions. You write a block of function code. So all these things, and you want to use that function again and again, call that function. So your program can be behaved as an object-oriented or even procedure-oriented also. And when we talk about object-oriented, means you creating classes and objects, calling the objects and calling the classes. So these are object-oriented. So Python can behave in both the ways. So these are the few features and advantages of Python which we had discussed in today's lecture. Okay. So if you guys like the video and if you want to have more such interesting and informative videos on Python, data analyst, data science, or artificial intelligence, do follow our channel, TechArena Learning Hub. Keep learning, keep growing. Thank you so much, guys.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give it a thumbs up.